with those, can you please put hands up again? So those people might not be experienced with mob programming. So now we need to find a way to incorporate them to existing team in our existing teams, or maybe build new groups where they can join and learn this with you. I mean, you can have your own team, but do you have somebody who is familiar with mob programming and can facilitate it? Okay, awesome. Then you do it and you facilitate it, and then that's fine. Yeah.
Do we continue with Pydantic, like the same exercise we did in the first class, or there's a different exercise with this part?
Are you already finished with the exercise? I would say if you're not finished, just continue with the exercise. And if there is something else you want to work on something else. Okay? Yeah.
Could you commit what we've done in the first session, or is it not the intention? Or
why would you like to commit? You can just do new stuff. Like, you have my permission to do new stuff. Yeah, you can add anything you want, really.
But the question was about the code that we did all together in the group. I guess we will commit that and push that at some time.
Yeah. But like, you can create your own, you can fork. I mean, you'll have to fork it. I don't think you can push to that repo. Yeah, I think you have to do like a pull request and stuff. So, yeah, so it's like.
I think we'll do new things anyway.
Somehow. The point is that we learn more programming. It's not so much about writing code today. So, yeah, it's to know. And if you want to work on something else, be my guest. Thank you. I want to get some water.
So, for the new people who came in, that's a GitHub link. So,
Only 2 new people who came in.
Oh no, there was a group actually.
There's a whole group.
Hi, I'm Gregor. Awesome. You will join this group. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, if you will check with you and make sure that it's changing at every version.
Are you rotating? Yeah, close. Yeah. don't tell him like ABC, tell him like create a new test.
So go to the create hash function. Build here should be between 7. There was a range.
Did you listen to a book?
They had like a runaway typist.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this guy. Me too. Yeah.
I was talking about Windows kernel.
Do you have that talk? Is there a YouTube link to that talk? I would like to listen to it.
This is crazy.
Switched by itself, right?
Yeah.
No, I switched the. Sorry.
Ah, you switched it. Okay.
Wanted the. But I think you can go back to the slide.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. must be a recent. Is it a talk or is it an article?
I think it was just in a talk that he was talking about it. But just. But I think there's some website where they have more programming anti-patterns.
I know of one site it's about mobbing patterns from
Yeah, Agile Alliance. I think the same place they have anti-patterns. But
What time are you giving your talk?
tomorrow? Yeah, I think it's in the schedule. Sorry, I'm just gonna finish. I want to finish this. Man.
okay.
Weird.
No, it's fine. Don't find it now.
Yeah.
Anti-pattern.
The Fight Club. Riding shotgun.
Can you send me the link to this page? Is this
Yeah.
by Alan Holub or?
Yeah, I can send it to you. Or just Agile Alliance thing.
Ah, okay.
But the patterns there, they're a bit prescriptive. What I like more is the anti-patterns.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Sure.
because the patterns they're doing, they came up with them. Like they're good for them.
Yeah.
Switch it off.
Yes. It's off, but it's on.
Maybe it doesn't work.
Yeah, switch doesn't work. I turn it off, but it's still. It's okay. This is table about.
Maybe it's in the book actually. I should probably look at the book.
What are you using for books?
Kindle.
Kindle. I would also like to have some cross-team learning. So when we have a retro that we like do some retro also together. I would like to listen to what the teams noticed.
And by the time once we put the chairs in a line, the teams will be dead. We're like physically dismantling them once we put the chairs in a line.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have two retros, one on the team.
Yeah.
When they just had the retro right now, like there's nothing. Like
Yeah.
at least another 20 minutes of coding.
What do you think? Do we first we need the retros in the teams? That would be the first thing. And then do we then start putting together the chairs, or do we then have a retro?
Put together chairs, then the teams are closed.
Yeah.
They become one big mob, and then we do the
Yeah.
general retro, and we close together.
Let's do it this way, and then you will show your page.
Yes, that's true. Such a nice person. Yeah, okay, whatever. There's loads of stuff.
There is again on the patterns.
This like it's a pair programming, but they're the same, really.
They are the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Also.
Do you want me to share it on the screen? I don't know. I
don't
mean, I would
know,
rather
it's
they
not
do it
that-
themselves.
So
I wanted to do it themselves. I think I'm just
Yeah.
like making myself busy.
if they are interested, they will find these
Yeah.
contents. They will find talks and
And the things that they like.
yeah, they will Google it. It's fine. It's also interesting that this code has different shapes.
I put it like that. Because I can create it. I created it like that. But I chose it.
I didn't know it works like that too.
You can make it the way you like it. You can put your own logo into it and stuff. Yeah, I want it to be different to the
Yeah.
other stuff that I have. So, yeah, I want to finish with the. Like, this is my final slide.
Yeah. How long do you need for that slide?
Like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
And you want to do it in the very end after you. So I think for the final retro we need something like 15 minutes, right? And then with your slide maybe together it's like, I don't know, 17 minutes or something. For putting the chairs together also like a few minutes.
Just sitting down as well. So it's like
And sitting down, yeah.
it's calculated. So.
I think we can already start encouraging them to have retros in their teams, and then in 10 minutes we start doing everything. Because at 5 we should be finished.
At 5? Is that what schedule saying?
At 5 it says
But
coffee
it's
break.
for them. It's for their. Like.
It's not.
Like
Lightning talks start at 5. I thought we should be finished.
I want to be finished by stocks. And it's like it started at 5:20. So yeah. So finishing at 5 I think would be good.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So it's now in 40 minutes. We have 40 minutes left.
Yeah.
So So let's have them have a retro now, and then, or is that too? Maybe wait a little bit. Maybe every 10
30,
minutes. Let's make 10 more minutes, and then.
So 16. So for the big retro, at least 8 minutes, right?
I would take more. I would
No,
take 50.
it just seems like there's a lot of talking. You know, I want them to, and not enough coding. That's what they always say about agile. There's a lot of talking and not enough coding. And the more programming example, you don't need retros, ideally.
Yeah.
Like, I think you just sort of, you fix problems as you go along because of good communication. So, what do I actually want? So, chairs. Let's give them 15 more minutes. And 16:35 we'll start.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Okay.
do it this way. Okay.
Oh, so I started the timer.
Oh, cool. You have a chain timer.
It says on the README, I think.
Yes, I know.
1700 to 1900.
in 14 minutes, we will start asking people to have a retro in their own groups. 15 minutes. And then we will have them the chairs. After turning the chairs, we show a slide of him where he wants to show techniques of vending online. People should join. And then we also want to have a final session. We have posting learning. I want to hear what was the most interesting things people had found within their course. Joining and following up that in a nice time and my together with this workshop and then this workshop together and join so yeah that's how this happened and the third person Artem Nitsan It's an Avni. It's actually quite disagreed about it's cool. We're all online. Yeah, it's actually quite there's an open source project. Python approvers testing that. It is currently exclusively developed on the public domain. Everybody can join Ensemble and they're working on this. What's it called? Python model approver. Python approver. It sounds like a DAO. Decentralized. $35, right? And can you repeat what comes first? First small groups retro, then tables and chairs, and then your slide, and then final retro. Or first final retro and then your slide maybe.
Yep, first final retro then.
Yeah, okay.
We can, but lightning talk starts at 5:20.
We don't really want to give them more time.
Yeah, because
We missed a good chocolate is good, but there's also something spicier stuff on the way.
Huh?
There was a spicier finger food, but
yeah.
that was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it? That sounds fine for me.
Yeah.
Because I think they're not going to start the retro even when they tell them 6 bird so they're still going to finish the round.
Yeah.
It's still like it's all.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
To reach you out, we will have your links with Twitter.
Yeah. They have.
That's a good
my
idea.
meetup. Do you want your Twitter here? You have your whole role-playing game and stuff.
Yeah.
Can I talk to them about that?
I mean, yeah. It's in TypeScript, so I don't know.
Maybe people speak TypeScript. Do you want to talk about it? Just
Sure. Yeah, sure.
just put our contacts or something. I don't know.
Can you maybe open up Google and search for mob programming RPG?
This one?
Yeah, but no, not this one. Go back.
Exactly.
Yeah, something like that. This one, yeah. And just maybe just click here and add a player. And just left or I don't know. Icon, yeah. Exactly, and edit. Yeah. And click add. And maybe add one more player. Yeah. And now, I don't know, earn 3 points here just to. Oh, it's fine like this, it's fine. Can you make a screenshot of that and bring it onto the.
This?
Yeah.
Like whole thing?
Yeah. And make it a little bit smaller. Exactly. Yeah. Public mob. The public mob on the mob programming RPG. Or something like that. And can you make also, I don't know, a code with this link?
Yeah.
Just to make a suggestion here, because for user learning,
Yeah,
what that error says, it points to
the password is probably something very complicated.
But can you not just screenshot it?
Let's see.
Will this work?
See if it works now.
The data source delivers you one at the beginning of the column.
It looks perfect.
To replace that one.
And just bring it, I don't know, over here or here in the corner. Yeah. Do you think this will work?
Yeah.
I think so.
And I want to put the whole link as well.
Yeah.
like this column is named with one
In the CSV it's called first quote and on. And maybe you can use it in square brackets and
Or you can also make the game screenshot a little bit smaller maybe.
They write this in TypeScript?
No, I will tell them. I will tell everything. And maybe can you give my Twitter handle
Yeah.
below that link?
You know it?
Just search for Gregor Riegler and
When you type it.
use underscore. Oh. I don't know what
Yeah,
I.
I'll go fix it.
Gregor underscore Riegler, I think. Is it? Yeah. That's it, yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Wir haben jetzt die Funktion create house so gebaut, dass sie jeweils zusammennehmen. Und als Default wäre das dann, was wir den gültigen Automation für jetzt create house
Cool.
wenn man zumachen, bekommt genau das, was wir vorher
Yeah, I think then let's let's have them call out for retros.
Is it okay if I do this last? And I just want to have
Sure.
it standing.
Yes,
for a bit.
sure.
I don't
It's
know.
fine,
Is
yeah.
that like Python
Okay.
data?
Okay. Do you want to make it, or should I?
Is it time?
I think if we have 2 slides, we will take a little bit more time.
No,
so I
like,
would,
just wait for
okay. Okay. Then let's wait a little bit.
I want to see how far they got.
Yeah, we can see that in the retro. Then.
Yeah.
Die Default-Web-Technologie, die wir für den Test. Wir wollen nicht, dass generell ein Haus per Default 1800 genau. Genau. Gut. Damit ist der Teil durch. Genau, und zwar wenn die Parable Choice, also diese Zeile kannst du einfach mal. Alles gut. Genau, da brauchst du jetzt, kannst einfach rüber kopieren. Kannst du nur mal tippen. Ja, okay, du hast glaube ich 2 Punkte noch angesetzt. Okay, und dann braucht die Funktion jetzt einen Parameter von Validate. Genau, und dann funktioniert schon 2000 auch nicht validieren. So, was wir gerade gemacht haben, ist, dass wir wollen jetzt verschiedene und dafür müssen wir nicht jedes Mal eine neue Funktion schreiben, sondern wir können sagen, dass diese Funktion einen Parameter invalidiert bekommt und der wird aus dieser Liste hier aufgerufen. Das heißt, dieser eine Test hier, wenn du eigentlich 4 Tests denkst, können wir gar nicht Genau, das ist so eine Magie, die einem Freitest mitbietet. Genau, und jetzt gibt es aber für 3 von diesen Jahren etwas, also wir bekommen die Validation. Das liegt daran, dass gerade die Maximum das so aus. Genau, weil wir gerade nur gucken, ob das Jahr 2000 ist. Deswegen 1600, 1700, 1900 nicht. Ich glaube, da steht das genau, sie müssen zwischen 1700 und 1900 sein. Und da 1700 und 1900 invalid sind, tut das exklusiv. Benennt sowas wie Funktion. Hier wird must switching between several different data sources where data are inconsistent, then I believe that it makes sense to have one data everybody understands. But if you have just one name which is consistent, and even though it sucks, it's probably better for the whole product to stick to the name so that later on in the pipeline you can still use the line of consider what might come afterwards.
Type up the questions for the big red trash.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Basically just one step of processing. We have the input, we have one step of loading, and then one layer. If you have more layers,
For the yeah, so the
Which
big for the
questions
big
do you-
retro, it's just what was interesting.
For the small group retro?
Same questions, I would say. Yep.
Where does hydrogen come from? And you want to, oh, at some point it was fireplace.
I think they're having a retro all the time, so they are often talking about.
We can just tell them it's last 10 minutes in
Yeah.
a small group.
Yeah,
And our suggestion is to have a retro.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
No.
Can I start? Okay, folks. So there is now 10 minutes left for you to stay in your groups. I encourage you to do a retrospective again and talk about how things went a little bit, what worked well, how did it feel, and then we will do something else. So please just know that it's going on for 10 more minutes. Yeah.
Like, or maybe you guys are having ongoing retrospective and you don't want to spend 10 minutes just talking. Maybe you're just like talking as you type. So maybe you just want to code for 10 minutes more. It's your choice. Sometimes in mob programming, we don't have retros. We just do retro as we go. Continuous retro.
I did confuse some of the people.
Somebody, I mean, they can. It's an option. Like, then they can. I saw this group voting with like thumb up, thumb down, and neutral.
Really?
Yeah. Like if you want to have a retro like this, then play this, and like yeah, and they decided to keep putting it,
Yeah.
which is nice. Like they just met and they already decided something together.
This is how startups grow.
Oh no. Like I've been in startups where it's like the founder has a 2-month queue of reviewing PRs.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you do?
This is, this is also probably really well for like hiring. If you are like an engineering manager, you can code and then you can code with other people, and then there is something standing out, you want to hire them. It's a perfect opportunity in the mock.
I mean, ThoughtWorks hires by pairing. At ThoughtWorks, you pair people during the interview in any language you want.
Sure,
Yeah. Like, the mobbing is even better
yeah.
because you have to argue
Yeah.
and collaborate. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Till 45, right?
Yes. Do you know exactly how the chairs should be? Should that guy come up and explain how the chair should be? I think I would prefer him to do it.
I would just ask him to bring up the chairs like they have been. That's it. Maybe they do. I'm worried that if we give too much information, it will confuse them. I would just try and see what happens, and then yeah.
Einmal die Kamera und einmal vielleicht etwas alle.
his name is Yanis, and we just ask him to listen to him, like put them as they are, and Yanis might tell them, give him micro instructions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yanis from BCC.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I hope this will work quickly with the chairs. I hope so. So that we have enough time for the slides and the retro time.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, but if we go a little bit into the break, it shouldn't be a big deal. Right? 5 minutes longer, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I can announce it as we have another ensemble activity to arrange the physical chairs in this room.
Yeah.
Put a timer on the screen.
I think they are pretty far there in this group. They kept going.
And give the retro 1 more minute to wrap it up.
Giving the cue.
I think once you get to the validator, it becomes like, you don't want to stop it.
Ah, okay.
Like a lot of them are actually.
It gets interesting, right?
Yeah.
And there are many ways to do the validator, which I learned today, which I didn't know before.
It helps a lot in the debugging, especially the assertions.
Yeah. For sure.
I will use it a lot.
And I invite you to say goodbye to the small team now. This is our last activity in small teams. The next activity, we will be acting as one big ensemble again. We have a request from Yanis from BCC to work together to put the chairs back in line. And there's Yanis in the back who will correct you about it. So
that's me, hi.
So, yeah, just put the chairs in some lines. And when you said goodbye to the small team. And come back to the big group.
Exactly.
and the checkbox.
Yeah. But please stay, even after the chairs are aligned, please stay in the room, because we will still have a big retro to learn from each other what we learned in each of your teams. Yeah.
I really like the arrangement of the physical space, closes it for them, and like puts it in some new world.
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, I think and will give you the, yeah, sorry, yeah. Try and actually.
I think
because
he has
actually-
it, no?
No,
Didn't you give it to the guy?
no, actually it understands these days Python like, or not and, yeah, sorry, not and. It should be, less than 1700 and grading than 1900. That's not possible, sorry. Yeah, I think the syntax. Assert, yeah.
Instead of an if and else, you can just use assert.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you don't need to worry about those. It would raise the line.
Yeah, assert.
Welcome back to the big group. In a couple of minutes, we'll start the big retro.
Thank you all for putting the chase back. Yeah.
Start?
Yeah. Okay, thank you for bringing back the seats. So let's use a little bit of time to learn about what you found interesting in your groups, in your teams. Is there something that you want to share?
So one question is, when you have this moment when someone who's really experienced with maybe Pydantic and someone is a complete beginner, when do you start explaining? Because if you explaining for 3 minutes, the turn is almost over.
Mm-hmm. It's totally okay to use a turn just for explaining. And when there is somebody who is rather beginner, I experienced that it's nice to have them as a driver and be typing, and have the person who is more experienced talking. It helps for transferring knowledge. Yeah.
I'm actually picking up on, right on that point.
Yeah.
What I found in our group was very helpful was the role of a facilitator to have a look on if a disbalance happens, that one person talks too much, and that you then, as a group, rather decide to switch the context from ensemble programming to a quick tech breakout or something. Mm-hmm. And that helped a lot to have this facilitator role in there.
Yeah. Also, I experience a lot where a mob just pauses the timer and then has an ongoing discussion for 10-15 minutes about technical stuff for design, or maybe they want to draw something, and then they just go on coding after that.
For me, the most interesting was that we managed to make a segfault. So I didn't expect that. No, but jokes aside, I think I actually learned more in a shorter amount of time than I would have if I would have to look up myself things. Because the best moments are when we become this kind of mega brain. You know, that you instantly learn from each other, and this is. Otherwise, you need to spend a lot of time and look up different answers. But if somebody's already experienced these issues, then it's easier, it's faster. And this, I was surprised, because communication is slower than thinking. But
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a bottleneck. But I'm glad you had that experience.
Anyone else?
Yeah, there is something to mention.
Yes, one thing that we discussed in our group was we started with a very detailed task list. How does this ensemble programming look like if you don't start with very much, like let's say a user story or less?
Yeah. That's a good question. So you noticed with this exercise that we did sneak in test-driven development. So you had to write tests, make it pass, and so on and so forth. When it comes to user story-driven development or something like that, it doesn't change much. It's just that the person who is talking has to decide what we're going to do next. And I would say, yeah, you just have to try it. It's just a little different. It's just maybe not that guided in a way. Like there's more freedom, I would say. Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting how difficult it is to instruct someone on how to manipulate text. Like just, you know, you need to take these few lines and copy them into this function or move this thing around. And it's actually, you know, in my head, I think I'm speaking extremely clearly, but then the person's doing something completely different. And I don't know, I guess text editing is, yeah, hard to communicate.
Yeah, it's also you get better at communicating your intent and what you want to do, and to be precise and to talk slowly and simply. I think doing more programming more often. Yeah.
So we did this with Pydantic. So what is the big advantage to doing it with Pydantic and not without?
Like, I did the same exercise with dbt, for example, and there's like dbt data validation package. Like, I'm thinking of doing the same thing with Pandera, and if you do the same 5 people, it's with Pydantic, with Pandera, like dbt, the great expectations, then you will know, you with 5 people, what you prefer. Yeah. I mean, that's a non-answer. But my idea is to experiment and to try it on the toy problem with all the tools that you have. Some teams love Pandera because they work with pandas and it works really well for them. Some teams like row by row, you know, typed classes, and they use Pydantic. But all of these packages have their fans. Yeah.
That brought me to the next question. What is your experience with editor wars?
Yeah, like the reason we use Gitpod, even though it looks like VS Code, but it's not exactly VS Code, so that's like one way out of editor wars. I do this online as a meetup, and we always use Gitpod to get out of people who don't have VS Code installed. And I like using the same editor as other people in my team because I like learning typing skills. Like being a good typist is actually a hard skill. It's like being a good race car driver. Like, you know your shortcuts, you know all automatic refactoring, which is there. Like, I like learning typing skills from others. So I like being on the same IDE as other people. Yeah.
I got 2 technical questions on that note. Does Gitpod allow for collaborative editing? Wow, great. Second question, yeah, we had a little bit of, and the biggest impediment was probably the keyboard layout. Oh, you know that. Okay, good. Any hints? What helps?
Just use German keyboard layout.
Yeah, I agree on that. Just use the one which looks...
So the best way I know is if you work on the same keyboard to just deal with it. If you can manage to everybody work on your own keyboard, then that's maybe even better. Working remotely gives you this opportunity. Also for the first question, what was the first question again? I had something to say about it. Collaborative editing, exactly. So there is one limitation to Gitpod. Gitpod works very well if only one person changes a file at the same time. If multiple people join the same Gitpod session and they both change the same file at the same time, there will be conflicts. I mean, of course, there are other like Visual Studio Code plugins that allow for more collaborative editing, but typically we don't need it because there is only one typist changing a file, so it's fine. Yeah.
Do we have more questions, or like on the big retro group?
No, we don't have any more questions.
Okay,
but we have 2 more slides also if there's, but there is a question, I think. Yeah.
Or an answer.
Or maybe an answer.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I really like the JetBrains things, because if everybody uses them, you can even remote control the terminal session and execute tests and everything. So I really like that, but I never had a project where the customer actually gave us IntelliJ, so I only use it privately so far.
Awesome. Then maybe let's go to the final slides. So I'm running every Thursday a public mob programming. We are working on the mob programming RPG. The mob programming RPG is actually not developed by me or by us. It's developed by William Larson. The idea is developed by William Larson, and we are making a web page to be able to play the mob programming RPG together with friends. And it's a way to teach mob programming in a gamification style. Yeah, so you just play the game, you gather points, and the goal is to have fun. And we are programming together this tool every Thursday, and we mob on it. And everybody can join. You can join if you want. But it's written in TypeScript, so it's not Python. I'm not very deep into Python or do a lot of Python. I just do very little. He's much better at Python than I am. Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter and so on if you like to. And there is something Lev is doing.
Yeah, so I really want to bring more programming into the data Python community, and there's a meetup called Berlin Data Crafters, which is online, so you don't have to be in Berlin to join. And we meet online in Govertown, and we use Gitpod to do more programming together. Like we've done this exercise there in December, we've done some DBT, we've done model framework, and next week I want to do LangChain. Maybe a Pydantic validation of LangChain output, or maybe something more simple with LangChain. If you are curious, you are very welcome to join next week.
We'll also post those links in the Discord, in the channel for this room channel. So I think that would also be possible. Those links for your group and also the event. Yeah.
Are there any final questions or comments? Yeah, there's a question there.
Often we have to defend or sell this idea of 5 or more people mobbing together. Can we just sum up our most important and strongest arguments why this is a good idea?
That's a good question. So I would step away from trying to argue why it is a good idea. Maybe you can just ask if you could make an experiment for a limited amount of time, and then have the people doing the experiment giving the feedback whether they think it works or not and why, and see what comes out of it. And maybe this sort of feedback maybe you find out it works very well for you, and then it will keep on going. So I think using experiments, time-framed experiments, are a good way to get into it and also argue about it.
Yeah, like starting more programming in a team that doesn't do that, that's a very big change. And there are big books written on how to introduce change to an organization. And you start slowly, you do it 1 hour a week of small puzzles as a toy, and then maybe you do it on a production code for 4 hours, once a month, and then people get more relaxed about it, if they like it. And maybe they don't like it, and that's also a good outcome as well. But there's a question.
I think it's really a chance for knowledge management, and once you are set up with such an experiment and you're comfortable to invite the manager, then they'll see the disciplined style of it, and I think that could help.
Are there any more questions, or is anyone typing on Slido too, so that I can also check? Yeah, okay.
I mean, there are a lot of agile coaches who can talk about management and making your industry more agile, but it's more about management. This kind of technical coaching, which is Greg is training, is already one, actually. That's another kind of coaching where they actually sit with you and code and teach you how to code and speak like that. It's very hands-on micro coaching. And I think that helps an organization sometimes to transition if you have somebody like that. That's my plug for Greg.
So thank you.
Thank you.
On that note, I want to end the sessions. Before that, will you put on the slide somewhere the link? Okay, that would be also on the Discord channel. So we'll put some links on the Discord channel too. So thank you all for attending the sessions. And yeah, let's thank the presenters again, Lev and Gregor. Thank you. So yeah, if anyone is tweeting, remember the hashtags. And thank you all for attending again. And hope you'll have a great day again. The social event is on. The lightning talks are on. So yeah, thank you all.